Fellas, let's talk Dallas Cowboys for Madden 26. This is the youngest Jim bringing you another little Madden video here. I will be taking over America's team heading into MFL Madden 26. Gonna be sick. I'm pretty pumped for it. I will do a full divisional breakdown for user by user for the MFL heading into 26 as we get closer to the season. It's going to be insane. The comp in the league has gone up quite a bit in the last couple seasons. We got some nasty talent in there. I think it's like Season 8 Super Bowl is happening today. I will be commenter today with the boy the Broncos. It's going to be some sick action. Expecting a good game between the Orbits and the Riverhogs today. It's going to be awesome. Let me get into a little bit of what am I going to do with this dog shit team heading into Madden 26, because they are under one of the worst management I have ever seen. Jerry Jones is, I'm going to put it nicely, a senile old man. He should have been fired 10 years ago. Look at this bullshit that I'm dealing with. I am strongly considering trading away basically the face of the franchise, Micah Parsons.
This is the player card.
Thank you.
Here are
Let's get through some of these little extras right now. Look at this MFer, bro. Him, Micah Parsons. Let's take a look at the contract. He's about to get owed a bag of money, all of the cash. And that's not necessarily my issue. There has been interest for Micah Parsons. If I can turn, he's still got a lot of game left in him. I'm 26 years old, 99 overall. I mean, that's pretty insane. He's got a lot of Madden left in him before he starts hitting regression and all that. He's going to do a lot of damage. If I can, if there is some interest in that, I can get the correct or the right trade where it makes sense for me, then I might take advantage of that. I will definitely be keeping CeeDee Lamb. For me, being an offensive guy, focused on the pass, he's going to be a cornerstone of my team. Probably going to run him out of the slot. He's 6'2", 200. And he runs a lot of slot IRL. I think I'm going to do what I did with Travis Hunter this previous season. That's going to be my CeeDee Lamb, and that's going to be so much fun. My biggest question right now is, what am I going to do with this guy, Dak Prescott, star dev, 32 years old, 9 years in the league. He is hitting regression. They have him in the simulate. I'm simulated to the 2025 season in Madden. So this is not all perfect accuracy of who's going to be on the team, because they don't have the correct draft picks on here. They don't have all the correct signings on here, so it's not perfect, but it's going to be somewhat close to what I'm going to be dealing with whenever I first load up Madden 26 with this team. Dak is owed just all of the money, just all of the cash in Dallas. Basically, he's Jerry's son at this point. Look at this contract that I'm dealing with, my brother. 4 years remaining. 140 in salary, 190 in bonuses. I owe him so much money. Yeah, basically 300, a little shy of 350, a little north of $340 million he's owed. That is absolutely absurd. In real life, I don't care that much because I think he's still got some good ball left in him. I'm not going to say he's going to make any kind of a run IRL. I'm just saying for the purposes of being a decent NFL quarterback, fine. For Madden, this is cheeks. This is so buns. 32 years old, 81 overall, 340-some million. This is terrible. I'm definitely going to try to get rid of him. I've been thinking about it, and I was like, well, maybe do I just play with him for at least a season and try to, try to eat some of this? I think I'd rather just get started with a young guy. And speaking of a young guy, one of my cornerstones of me playing Madden is that, they don't have Joe Milton on here. Joe Milton is already 25 years old, I think, going into next season. 25, 26, one of those two. I think they have QB regression somewhere around 30 years old. I could take Joe Milton and build him up, and I might just keep him. But what I really want is like when I took over Jackson Dart in last for Madden 25, I think he was 22 or 23. That's what I really need a quarterback that's 22 or 23 years old. That's not 57 overall. Look at this guy. The roster, it's not going to be completely reflective of what I'm going to be picking up next year, but this is 25, 26 for the beginning. Because I mean, if I can take a guy and use him for 8 seasons, and I just would rather fight less of the regression towards the end of the career than I have to. I mean, if it's going to be Joe Milton, it's going to be Joe Milton. I'm using Joe Milton in the franchise that I'm running with some of the boys, that mostly Josh is running now. And I'm not in love with Joe Milton's throwing animations. It's something about it. I'm not in love with it. I feel like it's a little bit awkward in the game. So as a user, I might be evaluating another quarterback. We will see how that flows. Receiver-wise, CeeDee Lamb paired with George Pickens. We are throwing for so many yards, my brothers. There is no stopping that. We are going to throw for all the yards. Jake Ferguson, 26 years old, 81 overall. I will be able to beat that up. I feel like Jake Ferguson's a little bit underrated. Offensive line on here is a little bit not reflective because we're going to have our new rookie at guard position. That'll beef us up a little bit. There's been a lot of talk in the MFL about is it worth it to invest in the offensive line, and I feel like you can't have too many guys in the 70s. I feel like you're going to get smoked. So I need to figure out something at tackle to get at least a guy maybe in the low 80s. I think I've kind of felt like guys that are at least 80 and higher, I feel like don't get absolutely abused. Now, those guys, my tackles will still get beat by the Micah Parsons of the world, the Myles Garretts of the world. It is what it is, but I can live with that. When I'm in those matchups, I can do some things to counter that as I need. But in general, I need to beef up that line a little bit. We need to figure out something at the defensive end position. My defense, in general, the Cowboys defense IRL was horrendous last season. And so most of their overalls will probably be pretty low on the lower end going into next season. I do have some really strong corners to get started. Part of my willingness to potentially trade Micah Parsons is I'm having a really tough time deciding in Madden, and you guys might have an opinion on this, what position on defense on the field makes a bigger impact. Is it a high 90 overall defensive end that can get to the quarterback on the pass rush, and if you can rush 3 or 4 and get some pressure while you're still dropping into coverage, I mean, that's a pretty insane impact. Or is it these lockdown corners where, even if they have a little bit of time to throw, I still got guys that are just locked down all over the field. Right now, I'm currently leaning towards, I think I want to beef up my secondary more than my defensive line, which that could be the wrong call. That's just the way that I think that I'm going to go currently. I already have some solid corners, 26, 27 years old, 89, 86 overall, respectively. We'll see what their overalls come out in the next game. Got to do something about my safety position, but draft picks, looks like we're doing just fine on pretty standard set of future draft picks, so I can do with that what I will. But overall, biggest decision I got to make is who will be my franchise quarterback moving forward, because it's not going to be Dak Prescott. He's 32 years old. I could use him through the rest of his contract, and that's fine. Use him until he's 36. We'll be fighting some regression. I can probably build him up if I use him and play well with him. I don't know what that's going to look like. The older he gets, the harder it's going to be to progress him. I'm going to guess if I used him, I could probably get him to the high 80s at a minimum, would be my guess, over a couple seasons. But it's just not worth it. I'd rather just take a young guy. I need a young guy in a rookie contract to counter some of this insane money that we're paying this guy. And by the time, if I have 2 or 3 seasons with a rookie, he's going to well surpass the ceiling that I can get with Dak at this point. So I think it's just unfortunate that this is the contract that I'm dealing with. And it just is what it is. We're going to have to fight through it. And it's just going to be a challenge that we're going to have to get through. Running back wise, we're going to have Javonte Williams. And then the new rookie they got, is it Jordan Blue or Jane Blue? I'm going to build him up and mold him to how I want to use him. I still have Deuce Vaughn on the team, who I can build up if I want. Receiver wise, I might be looking to acquire. I got to beef up the old line, but I might be looking to acquire one more receiver. Jalen Tolbert, I was thinking could be my number 3, and I could easily build him up from 76 overall. I need to do a little research on when the wide receiver regression starts. I'm pretty sure most positions in the game regress in the either late 20s or early 30s, or somewhere in there, depending on their position. Quarterbacks are a little bit later. Depending on, I'll see how I'm feeling running Jalen Tolbert. I think 26 years old, 76 overall is well within my wheelhouse. If I used him, I'd get him built up. I could get him in the mid 80s as my wide receiver 3, and he'd be absolutely dangerous. 6'1", 195, 91 speed. That's well within the range of somebody that I'd be willing to build up. And if Jake Ferguson comes out as a star dev for next Madden, that will be just fine. He is still at an age where I can build him up quickly. Here's a question. So when you're building your player archetypes, when you're boosting your players, I need to do a little bit more looking on. So when you boost their, like you can see his possession versus vertical threat. When you boost possession, it's a scheme fit item. When you boost the player archetypes that these guys are, they get more boost when like if I were to boost possession, he's going to get more stat boost than if I boost the vertical threat. I'm wondering what that trade-off is like. Or, for example, if I was a run-heavy team and I wanted him to be a blocking tight end, if I'm boosting blocking, the first 10 times that I get an upgrade for him, if I boost blocking all those times versus if I would have just done possession, how many stat overall difference am I losing because I'm not boosting his scheme fit or his player archetype max item that I can boost? So I'll have to do a little bit of looking on that because it's going to be extremely relevant when we take over these teams for 26. We're going to have them for 7, 8, 9 seasons, whatever it's going to be. So those decisions are going to can really change the outcome of what your team overall and your player overall and your guys on the field, what they're going to be able to do heading into the next game. It's going to be really fun to learn, see if they put some new abilities in the game. I think that Commish has decided we are going to keep the development trait and abilities in for MFL 26. Initially, he was going to get rid of them. We were just going to use all stock standard players, but I think it's just fun having the guys with different development traits, your star, superstar, to X Factor development traits. They develop faster, and then putting the abilities in the game, which there's a couple insane abilities, a couple game-breaking abilities for the guys who develop their players and get them to be these game-breaking, game-changing guys. So I think that'll just be fun to play with. I kind of hope we leave it in. Now that I wasn't in love with abilities, but now that I've learned the game a little bit, got some seasons under my belt, I think I'm much better equipped going into next Madden to be able to prepare and plan for that than I was just this previous run at the MFL. I was mostly just going off of user and less game knowledge. So I definitely picked up some stuff that I think will help me. And hopefully I can take America's team back to the promised land and, at least provide some entertaining gameplay every now and then. I've been known to display some entertainment for the fans on the game. So I think in general, this Cowboys team, I need to beef up the defense. I mean, the whole team is down horrendous right now, at least Madden-wise. But it'll look different when the new game comes out. These overalls aren't correct. Need to beef the team up as a whole. Offense, I think we're going to get rid of Dak, and we might get rid of Micah, which is pretty nuts. I mean, that's like the face of the team. But I think I need to revamp. I think I need a young quarterback. And we'll see if I can find a stud in the secondary and just do some reflecting on how we feel about D-line versus secondary, if those are evenly weighted, or if one makes a bigger impact than the other. Anyway, fellas, this is my preview for taking over the Dallas Cowboys for Madden 26. I'm gonna do a full breakdown when I get the new team about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, and then I'm gonna do a better job to track on YouTube. I'll just do a whole YouTube series on the Dallas Cowboys rebuild in this franchise for MFL and Madden 26 coming up here in about a month. So appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for hanging, and we'll catch you in the next one.